Almost 95% of visa rejections for Ireland are being caused because of the fact that either the student could not show adequate funds, or they could not show it properly, or they could not show enough intent to return back to India once they were in Ireland. So in this video, we are going to discuss the exact mistakes that a student should avoid before moving to Ireland and filing for its visa. So let's dive straight into the video. Now at Uniflik, we are trying to build a student community around Ireland so that we can give you ground reality checks of that country. So do subscribe to our channel, go down there and hit that subscribe button down below so that we can keep bringing you content like this. Okay, so let's talk about the first type of mistake that most of the students commit, which is related to their funds. Now, the first mistake here is that the students take a transfer from their relatives or their friends' bank account to their bank account. This is the biggest mistake. Why is it so? It is because of the fact that number one, taking a loan from your relative or your friend is never desirable. If you want to take a loan, take an education loan now. And if you want to take it for a living cost, education loans these days fund your living costs as well. So you never need to take it from a friend or a relative. Okay, that's case one. Case two is that the student could be calling that particular person a sponsor of them. Now that is also a problem if you take their funds into your account, because of the fact that if they are a sponsor of you, then the funds in their account are also proof enough of the fact that they can be used for you. So let's say your friend is sponsoring you and you want to show his money, the money in his account as yours. So what you need to do here is that you need to go to the gazetted officer, get a sponsorship affidavit signed, and as soon as that is signed, that money can be shown by you for your sponsorship. You don't need to take an actual transfer of that money into your account. The second mistake that most of the students do is showing their funds with 100% loan. Why is this bad? This is bad because this gives proof to the visa officer that sustaining your studies by yourself is something that you're not capable of. This is because if you have to take 100% loan for your tuition as well as for your living cost, then that means you do not have any liquidity on yourself in the first place. So this gives the visa officer proof of the fact that this particular family from which the student is coming from is not capable enough to sustain their studies abroad, which indirectly points to the fact that the student might have to stay back in Ireland to cover the high education loan that he is taking up. So the ideal approach here is to take up the tuition fee as an education loan, okay, borrow only against that and try to show the remaining living cost of 10,000 euros from your own bank account. This is the best approach over here, and this is going to maximize your chance of a visa acceptance. The third type of mistake that most of the students do are abnormally large transactions in their bank account within the 6 months before applying to the visa. This is another blunder. Now, ideally, this is not a problem because let's say somebody is receiving salaries into their bank account, then that is a large transaction, right? But you need to have backing for every transaction that you have. You have pay slips for your salary which you are going to show to the visa officer. But any other transaction that you do, let's say you transfer 2 lakh rupees to your friend, or the friend transfers those 2 lakh rupees to you, you use those funds and you transfer them back to that friend. Now this whole journey of those 2 lakh rupees has to be reported by you in terms of official documents. Now why take the hassle of doing that? Try to avoid such transactions within those 6 months. Now, if you have done such transactions, then you need to give proper justification of each one of them to the visa officer in a very structured format. Now, let's move on to the next section where you need to declare the intent of your study in Ireland, which is the section for the statement of purpose and the cover letter. Now, this section is often ignored by students as less important. I feel that it is the second most important section that you should focus on in your Irish visa application. This is because of the fact that at the end of the day, with that visa application, you are trying to prove to the visa officer that you are going to return back to India. And this section helps you do that. So let's discuss the first mistake in this section is that you do not declare your intent in your statement of purpose. Now I have already made a video about this, so you can go down. I will attach the link of that video alongside this one and you can look at it and you can go through the whole SOP process. But the overall thing that I want to mention over here is that you need to declare proper intent of returning back to India with your statement of purpose. And what all do you need to answer within that are as follows. First, you need to explicitly tell them why are you choosing to do this course in Ireland and not in India. That's number one. Now you can state reasons like the quality of professors there is good, the alumni network that the university is offering is good, or the university is more prestigious than any other university in India, or such stuff. So that is the first thing that tells the visa officer that you are actually going there for the sake of studying and not, settling there long term. So this is the first thing that you need to keep in mind. The second thing that you need to keep in mind while declaring your intent is that you need to give them plans of returning back to India. Now, how do you do that? So typically, a student with strong family ties in India would be bound to return back here. So you need to mention that, okay, maybe your parents live alone over here. So you need to get back to India to support them. Or let's say your company requires you to have an upgrade of skills. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out there, get my master's degree, work there for 2 years for PSW. You can mention that within the PSW period. You can mention that you work there. They won't have a problem. So you can mention that. And then once you are done with the PSW experience and you have upgraded your skills, you will return back to the same company in India that you're working in, and you're going to continue your role there. So such stuff where you can give them intent of returning back to India can be very useful in your visa application. So you need to mention these things very, very properly. The second mistake here is that the students do not focus on their cover letter as enough. So what is the cover letter in the first place? The cover letter of your visa application is the document which gives the whole set of documents that you're presenting to them a proper structure. So let's say that you are giving them your loan sanction letter, or the proof of funds, or the proof of, or the justification of all the transactions that you have done in the past. Then you need to describe them in a structured format in the cover letter. Now, what you need to take care here is that the cover letter describes the funds very, very properly, in the sense that the visa officer is going to use this letter as his reference to navigate through all of your documents. So let's say you mention the first thing in your cover letter as your bank account statement. Okay, so he's going to open up the bank account statement and he's going to look into it and he's going to find transactions. So the second thing that you need to mention in your cover letter is the justification of the transactions. Okay, and so on. So you need to link one thing to the another, and you need to mention them in a proper format in the cover letter. So these were the common mistakes that most students commit while filing their Irish student visa application. Make sure to not commit these mistakes. If you have any doubts, do comment down in the comment section, and do subscribe to Uniflik's channel. We will keep bringing you content like this around the student community. Thank you. Until the next video. Goodbye.